course you're going to be scared of ripping.
I would have replied with, oh no, the waste of sperm.
Hi, I'm Brett.
And I'm Mickey.
And welcome back to the Hard Life of a Strawberry podcast, episode 4.
So, if you've just come from our last episode, you will have found out the way in which we told people we were pregnant, how we told people we were pregnant, and after telling people, this is when all the questions started. Obviously, you know, we got lots of questions about, say, have you had any cravings? How's your first trimester been?
The answer to that one was always awful.
Yeah, so it was always like, just stop asking me. But we thought, and we Googled a lot of questions ourselves as well.
Yeah.
And obviously went to TikTok as well, because we all know Dr. TikTok knows everything. No, it really doesn't. Please don't take that seriously.
If anything, sometimes the opposite.
Yeah, but we thought we'd have a nosy on Reddit and see what the weirdest pregnancy questions people have been asked.
Yeah, because there's some wild ones out there.
There is, so, and if anything, they make the questions people asked us a little bit tame, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, let's dive in.
Let's go. Okay, so hopefully all of these are kind of blind questions. We've not seen them before. Worst, weirdest questions people have asked you while pregnant.
I'm intrigued.
Okay, one of my co-workers had a male co-worker ask if she was going to eat her fetus.
Her fetus?
Her fetus? He meant placenta, but still not an appropriate question. She handled it well, though.
I don't know how I'd handle that if someone asked me that.
Eat her fetus. How do you even get that mixed up?
That's very odd.
Like, what?
To be fair, I think it would be a bit very personal and strange question to ask someone if they're going to eat their placenta, to be fair. Like, maybe they were just trying to, like, be nice and ask her a question, but...
Yeah, but it's inappropriate one to get mixed up.
They could have just asked if they were doing well, to be fair. Okay, so that one's up there with strange questions.
Yeah. Another one. Are you afraid of pushing out the baby and ripping?
Yes, and yes. I do not care what anyone says. Every single pregnant person fears this.
Of course you're going to be scared of ripping.
And the worst thing is, you don't... This is something, right? So if you are someone that has a pregnant partner or know someone that is pregnant, do not ask them this question. It is already in our head. We are already scared of this and we already fear this, and it's something we're trying to ignore. Because let's face it, once the baby's in you, it has to get out somewhere.
One way or another.
One way or another, it's coming out. And... oh my god, yeah, it's something you fear, and it's the last thing you want is someone bringing it up and making you think about that.
But why would someone else be asking you that as well?
Well, to be fair, I've had that question. Am I nervous about... No, I've been asked that question of, was I nervous about giving birth? Well, yes.
Is that before or after giving birth?
Before.
Some people are wild.
Well, yeah, although, to be fair, the eating a fetus is still number one on the weird questions.
Yeah, that's number one so far. Okay, another one. Someone asked me if it was planned. I don't remember the exact phrasing they used. The weird part was not that they asked, but they didn't already know the answer since they were semi-close to me. I'm 31, married for 7 years, dating 5 before that. My husband and I both always been vocal about wanting kids eventually. When COVID came, I was fairly vocal about recognising that I personally didn't want to have kids in the height of the pandemic. Now I'm 31, we want to have 2+ kids, so it was time in our minds to get on that. Person's logic was that I won't be able to travel as much, and I'm giving up 90% of my travel is to Disney and visit family, so no, I'm not giving that up because I have kids. It'll just be different. It was an odd conversation.
Right, so there's kind of two questions in this. So was their child planned? My answer is it's none of your business. Mm-hmm. Like, that's no one's business. Like,
without sounding awful, nobody wants to know if your baby was a mistake.
Yeah.
Or not a mistake, but unplanned.
Yeah, like, that's a very personal question. Like, granted, if they're close to them, then, you know, maybe they do ask these questions. But like they've said, if they were close to them, surely they knew they wanted kids.
But to me, that's almost like turning around and saying, oh, were you planning on having sex that night?
Yeah, that's a bit of a TMI conversation with people, isn't it? Although, to be fair, some people are very open about these things.
Some people are. And it's just, I think we're a bit more personal.
Well, yeah, you say that, but, you know, we've made a podcast.
We're now talking about this to everyone who wants to listen.
We've made a podcast about, you know, how we planned our baby. But yeah, so then the second part of that is that they assumed that they wouldn't want children, so because it'd stop them travelling.
Yeah, because they travel 90% of the time to Disney and visit family.
Maybe, right, everybody is different, and granted, we've had a little girl, so I'd say we've kind of can answer this question.
Yeah, but
having a baby does not ruin your life.
It doesn't
does not
stop
change
your life
anything.
in the slightest.
You can still, granted,
You have your baby adapt to your life.
Exactly, yes, exactly. You adapt to them as much as they adapt to you.
I really don't understand these people who won't have a baby because they think that it's going to ruin their life completely.
Yeah.
If you really want a baby that badly, you're going to make it work.
Yeah, you make it work. And you can travel with a baby. Like, granted, it might be more difficult. You might have to change it up a little bit.
But completely feasible.
But it's doable. So, yeah, that doesn't seem like a person that's very close to them. It sounds like someone that's very judgy to them, to be honest.
Yeah. Commenting on from that, another person commented saying, my weirdest was a colleague asking whether my twin pregnancy was planned. Well, one of them was planned, I suppose.
Right. My question to that...
I can understand that from a pregnancy side, but at the same time, how do you know you're going to have twins?
Yeah, but do you ever have those moments, right? You start talking to someone and you have a proper foot in mouth moment and you say something and then kick yourself and think that was the stupidest thing I've asked all day or said all day.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that was one of those moments
Quite
that
possibly.
you turned around and said, oh, were your twins planned? Like... Well, obviously not. That's not how it works. Unless they really thought that.
Maybe.
You never know. Personally, I think that is a foot in mouth question and one of those that they probably went home kicking themselves.
Okay, here's another one. It's not so much of the question itself, but the tone and sense of judgment that comes with it. You ready?
Okay, I'm listening.
Are you going to breastfeed?
Again, why is that someone's business?
The rest of this is, I always give the same answer, that I'll try, but I'm not going to put a ton of pressure on myself. Then comes all the commentary about how it's good for the baby, how I really should do it and not be lazy, etc. I know it's good for the baby,
I relate to this so much. So, I had this question asked several times, and exactly like I said, my first reaction is, why is it your business?
Yeah.
I said the same as that comment. I used to say to people, I'm going to try. I said that I was going to pump instead of just breastfeed because personally...
Obviously talking to midwives and people at the hospital, absolutely fine to talk about because that's a sensible conversation. But
yeah, but it's different if your doctor or midwife is asking you these questions because they're asking because they want to help.
Yeah, that's in the medical sense.
You know?
Whereas...
Not just being nosy.
An everyday random person, no, absolutely not.
Or even family and stuff I've had this question from, and I just don't think it's people's business. Like, what... A bit like you would say, you do you, boo. If you want to breastfeed, then do so. But if you don't, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, if you want to bottle feed, absolutely fine.
Our little girl has had both, and do you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world. You've managed to bond with her properly, being able to bottle feed.
I love being able to bottle feed her.
You know, and I wouldn't say she's lacked anything from having.
No, she still seems to have had all the nutrients she's ever needed.
Yeah, good sleep, you name it.
She's growing, she's a healthy weight.
So yeah, don't ask people this question. It's none of your business, and I'm sure once the baby's born, you'll find out one way or another.
Okay. A car salesman asked me what position I conceived in.
What?
Wait,
hang on a minute. A car salesman?
A car salesman
So
asked
someone
them.
they don't know.
Someone replied, same position your mum conceived you in. While the milkman was... No, I'm not after that one.
What was that? You can't read that one out loud on podcast.
I'm not finishing that one. That's like the postman turning around to you and saying, "Oh yeah, what position did you get in last night?"
No, that's a weird question.
You don't ask that. Like,
what would compel you to ask a stranger that, though?
what position was she conceived in? No.
Yeah, I don't think I'd know what. I don't think I'd be able to. I'd just look at them a bit stupid. Like, what?
I think
what?
I would actually just laugh at them. Or potentially punch them in the face.
Well, yeah, you would if someone was asking me what position. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
weird. It's right. I'm intrigued. Does anyone else think that that's a weird question?
As I say, I guess some people are completely open with it, but that's way too much information.
I don't know about you, but I almost feel like that's kind of topping the "are you going to eat your fetus" question.
I think the fetus one at this point is just funny.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Another one. I had a patient ask, "So are you going to deliver naturally or C-section?" Legit met this patient 30 seconds before and she wants to know if baby's coming out my vagina or what. Lol. Okay, I can kind of understand that if she's your patient. Oh, wait, what?
No, I think they're saying it's their patient was asking them. So someone that they've just met is asking them how are they going to have their baby. Again, none of your business. Isn't it funny, right?
If it was the other way around for the doctor asking, completely fine.
Well, yeah, the obvious questions for a doctor and stuff.
But as I said, the other way around, completely inappropriate.
Yeah, but you know what? With all these questions, right, is people overstepping their boundaries. Just because someone's pregnant, that does not mean you get to touch their belly all the time. That does not mean you can stare at their belly. Oh my God. Granted, this is not a question.
So many dirty looks.
But the amount of people that would glare at my stomach, especially when I was like in my third trimester, so obviously I was really big, it was really obvious.
Almost like I've never seen a pregnant woman before.
Yeah, I'd get such dirty looks, but it's like they'd be staring at my stomach, and then when I'd catch them staring, it was almost like, oh my God.
Look at me.
And yeah, personal space does not go out the window.
So I've got another one. I was asked if I was lying about the due date because I was so big I must be further along. How bloody cheeky.
Yeah, that's almost offensive. Like, so they're saying that because they're fat that they're lying about the due date.
Yeah, because they're so large. Like, what?
Yeah, that's a bit of a mean question. Oh, I don't know how I'd respond to that one.
Another one. Are you naming him after your father-in-law or husband? Probably not.
Although, to be fair though, some people do that though. So maybe if they knew the person, maybe they thought that, unless it's like a mother-in-law or something, and they've just assumed that.
Or maybe that's kind of a thing that they do in their family.
Maybe, but then even then, we didn't follow any family traditions when it came to our little girl's name.
No, we didn't.
I'm going to say, in your side of the family, it's the tradition of all the initials to...
Initials will spell a name.
To spell a name. Personally, I think that was really weird, and we didn't do that. In my side of the family, the tradition was all the girls had 8-letter names to begin with. So yeah.
And we'd already fallen in love with the name we'd chosen. So we also didn't do that.
Yeah, so, you know, granted, if you've got traditions, if you don't, but maybe they did. Maybe that's what that question stemmed from, though. So that one's a bit of an open-ended question, because I feel like it could have been an innocent question.
Personally, I think it's weird.
I think it could have been innocent, depending on who.
I think be a bit more original with your names, but if you want to call someone Walt Jr., then go ahead.
Someone's been watching far too much Breaking Bad.
Maybe. So another one. My sister and I both had newborns at a Christmas party. I filled my baby's bottle with water and the guy said, "Oh, another formula baby." I didn't think anything of it until my sister said he asked her if her baby was breastfed and commented that the other baby at the party was formula. She responded, "Well, my sister chose for her baby to live and formula feed than starve and die," and walked away.
Okay, I have two issues with this.
Again, too personal.
Number one, none of your business. Keep your opinion to yourself. As at the end of the day, I 1,000% stick behind the saying a fed baby is better than nothing. So whether it's formula, whether it's breastfed, there is not a bad thing either way. And I think there is so much stigma that you get if you do bottle feed and stuff. And at the end of the day, as long as your baby's happy fed and they're okay,
There's still all the nutrients in every bit of formula these days.
yeah. Like as I say, our little girl had both, but in the end,
I think she actually preferred the formula as well.
yeah, but at the same time as well, not just that. We found out she has a cow's protein allergy, which means basically she's got a milk intolerance. And
You know, it's very passed down from you.
well, yeah, it's most likely passed from me, unfortunately. But it's just at the end of the day, we know how much she's had and all those kind of things, and I think it's you shouldn't ask people that, let alone judge people for that. And secondly, why was she putting water in her bottle? Babe, newborns can't. I'm hoping she was cleaning it, because newborns can't have water in a bottle, or shouldn't anyway.
Oh no, this one was about the she put water in a bottle because she's formula feeding.
Oh, okay, so she was in the process of making it.
Yeah.
All right, okay, that makes more
And the
sense.
guy commented, "Oh, another formula baby." Like, mind your own, dude.
I would have replied with, "Oh no, the waste of sperm." Well, they are.
That's-
But it.
Oh god.
Like, I don't care what anyone says. For starters, you're a man, and I know not everyone will agree with me on this, but if the mother wants to breastfeed or not, it is her choice.
Completely up
She is
to
the
her.
one that has to do the breastfeeding. Like, the man isn't going to breastfeed their baby. They can't.
No.
Right? So if she doesn't feel comfortable, if for some reason she's struggling mentally, physically, or anything else like that, my only thing I can say is, God help if he has children, and I really feel sorry for his partner if that's the case, because she clearly didn't get support if he's being so judgmental, and I just think that's horrible, personally.
Although there is the new man boob thing where you can stick a bottle and it looks like a boob.
It doesn't. It looks like a piece of plastic.
It looks like a boob, kinda. You stick a bottle in it,
But that's still not breastfeeding.
comes out the nipple.
It's not breastfeeding though, is it?
Probably not. Technically breastfeeding.
Him coming out with that comment is being a man boob. Next question.
Mother-in-law frequently asked my husband whether my cervix was ripening. Is it ripe yet, darling?
Why are all mother-in-laws weird? Like, this
Good
seems
question.
like a common denominator.
WTF, does that even mean?
I don't think you asked me a weird question like that.
Is your cervix ripening?
It's none of your business, it's my cervix. Honestly, all these questions have the same thing in common. Keep your nose out of people's business.
That is for the doctor to know.
Could you imagine if your mum had turned round to you and said, "Is her cervix ripening?" I think you would have been mortified.
I don't even know what I'd have said to her.
I think you just would have laughed. Or looked at her very strangely.
And say it's none of your bloody business.
Do we just sound negative for this? But it is...
I feel like we're just hating on all of these questions.
Well, you could be eating the fetus, I guess.
Okay, another. I can tell you're pregnant. You've gained a lot of weight on your face.
To be fair, I did. I did. I have a very round face anyway, and I have cheeks for days. But at the same time, I know I'm pregnant. I know I've gained weight. I do not need you to tell me. I don't need to be told I'm fat. I already know it. My clothes don't fit. I'm round. I've got stretch marks. You name
I'm
it.
going to say don't comment on people's weight for one.
Yeah, in general. Like, yeah, I think it's a funny one, isn't it? To be fair, I've had that said to me.
It's still body shaming at the end of the day.
Oh, I can tell. Oh, you've definitely grown, haven't you?
Oh yeah, is that supposed to be a compliment?
Yeah, that was your mum that said that one to me.
Lovely woman.
Good old. Yeah, no, that's just don't comment on someone's weight. Like, or their bump shape. Like, everyone's different.
Mm-hmm. Some people are really.
Some people don't show at all, whereas obviously other people kind of blow up a bit like a balloon. I was one of those people.
To be fair, you did in your 3rd trimester, didn't you?
Oh yeah, there was no way. People did not know I was pregnant. Like,
no. I feel like 1st trimester you didn't really show, did you? 2nd trimester.
No, I just looked fat in my 1st trimester.
Yeah, you kind of look really bloated.
Everything just felt really tight.
2nd trimester you got a small bump, and then all of a sudden 3rd trimester you were just. It was like a full baby was formed. Like,
oh, there was.
Where did that time go?
Yeah, she was.
Where did that in between stage?
She was kicking and stretching her way out.
Yeah. Are your nipples darker? I didn't provide a satisfactory answer for the first time, so she followed up with the same question a few weeks later. Are your nipples darker?
Wait, what? So they not only asked once, but asked twice?
Asked a few weeks later.
So what? I assuming the first answer was no, and then they expected it to happen a few weeks later?
Mm-hmm. Are your nipples darker? How is that in any way, shape or form an appropriate question to ask?
Could you imagine?
I'd love to know who was asking this question.
I would have just told them go Google it.
Why would you ever ask that question?
Why would you ask half of these questions? But clearly people do.
I was not offended because this was inquired by a friend, but I was asked if my husband still pulls my hair during sex.
What?
Even if a friend was asking, how did your friend know in the first place?
Right, I understand some people are very... I've said it before, like, some people are very vocal about these things and they share this kind of information, but, like, keep it in the bedroom. That is your information, that's your private life. Like, don't ask weird questions.
That's too much information.
But better yet, right, my theory is with this, right, let's just say they've had this conversation before about hair pulling or whatever in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Why would it stop?
Just because she's pregnant.
Exactly. But better yet, why do you need to know what someone else is doing in the bedroom?
I couldn't tell you.
That's as bad as asking what position did you conceive in. That's if they even know.
Okay. My half-sister, who has only been in my life for around 2 years, and we're not very close at all, asked to photograph/video my birth. I couldn't imagine even asking my closest friends to do that.
No, weirdo. What on earth? Right, okay, each to their own. Personally for me, I only wanted you there.
Yeah.
And even then I turned around and told you not to look down there because I didn't want you to be traumatised.
Yeah, some people will want close friends, family, parents there.
But you do not, Jerome, unless the pregnant person has specifically said they want to record it, right? Do not ask weird questions. Why would her sister, that she's barely known,
oh yeah,
want a video of...
You are in labour. Let's set up a 4K camera at your hoo-ha.
Like, I understand some people like that, but if the pregnant woman and the partner or whoever's in the room that is actually, making the decisions has said that they would like to do that, then fine. Yeah, you can say you can help out or do whatever. But the fact that... No, that sounds very weird. Was there any responses to that?
Let's have a look. Just someone saying, oh my god, I would die.
I'd be like... As if you think you're even going to be in the room.
Yeah, you're not even going to know when we give birth.
Yeah, to be fair, we did that. No one actually knew, did they?
No.
They knew the rough due date, but obviously because our little girl was early, no one knew. And I won't lie, that was bliss.
Mm-hmm. It was really nice actually, because then we had the freedom to let people know.
Yeah, we were allowed to process everything ourselves before kind of letting everyone else in on it. A bit like telling people and announcing you're pregnant, You've got to take that time.
Exactly. After finding out I'm pregnant with my first, do you plan to have another? And it's such a ridiculous question. Can't I just enjoy my first baby without asking about the future?
I agree. I think sometimes people don't allow you to have the first before they're already trying to push another one down your throat. And, like, granted, we've turned around and said we would like...
Yeah, eventually in the future to potentially have another.
But right now, it's all about our little strawberry. She's she's new to the world. Like, enjoy her. We are.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 3 months for us so far, and I feel like that's just flown by. Why would I want another one right now just to put my attention into?
Yeah, like, obviously, eventually that time will come. But yeah, no, I completely agree with that question. I think that you shouldn't ask things like that. But again, I almost feel like that's a very generic thing that people ask, though.
But especially if someone's asking about why you're still pregnant as well.
Yeah.
Like, at least let you have the first one.
I completely agree, and to be fair, I'm pretty sure we had a similar question to that. But yeah, just enjoy your baby.
Yeah.
And just don't ask silly questions like that. It's like when people say...
It's very strange, though. It's almost like if you buy, say, a new car, and someone's turning around saying, "Oh, when are you going to buy the new one?" You're not thinking about that straight away.
Yeah, buy the next one. No, but it's just like, it's a bit like when, before you're pregnant and people say, "Oh, so when are you going to have a baby?" It's like, don't just assume, don't push that agenda on someone. Like, it's just a bit too personal, but it can be very upsetting for people. Like, let's just say if someone struggles to have a baby or anything like that, don't ask these questions.
No.
They're just too personal, if you ask me.
I think this is a good one coming up. A friend asked if I was going to take all of my maternity leave. When I said yes, she asked if I was nervous to possibly lose my job over taking leave. I mean, I wasn't.
I can't relate to this one. I lost my job at 28 weeks pregnant, was made redundant, so, can't really comment on that one. But I can comment on the fact of, it's terrifying. You are in maternity leave, and it feels like a countdown clock of when you're supposed to go back to work, when you realistically should be working, all those kind of things. And although you can enjoy your maternity leave, even I personally feel there's a ticking clock.
Yeah, but at the same time, you want to be able to enjoy all of that maternity leave with your baby. That's the main bonding time you're ever going to have.
Yeah. And do you know what? At the same time, some people... Right, I think that question's come for someone that doesn't have children. Because I was like this before having a little girl. And you have your baby and your mindset changes. And I assume it's the same for you as well.
Yeah, 100%.
But my priorities, the things like... I was very... Well, I'd still say I am. I'm very career driven. I've worked my butt off to get where I am in my career. And being made redundant, as I say, at 28 weeks pregnant, was one of the biggest blows ever, because I felt like it was my fault.
Yeah, you felt like a failure.
And I felt like a failure for my little girl. And to be fair, even now I still have those moments, because I don't know where we're going to be at the end of maternity. Like, what it's going to be like. Will I be full-time, part-time? What will be happening? And yeah, I just don't think you should ask people that question.
But also, you never know people's financial situation either.
Yeah.
Maternity leave pay sucks.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere near your monthly salary that you would receive.
Yeah. I just don't think you should put it in someone's head that if you have a baby, you will lose your career, you will lose your job, you will... Don't make people choose. That's horrible.
Or even don't put the fact into the head that they're going to have to leave their baby at some point, because that's an awful thought in itself.
100%. Like, I won't lie. I think about that now and again, and it's an awful thought. Like, understandably.
Like, we already have her booked into nursery.
Yeah, she's not going yet. It's a few, well, we'll say a good 5 months until she starts attending nursery.
But even still, that time is slowly ticking down.
Yeah, everything's a ticking clock, as I say, and it's like, you don't need that reminder, because it's not a nice feeling.
It's not. We were asked if we were disappointed we were having a girl. That one really pissed me off. I just think that's really rude.
Yeah, like, right, don't get me wrong, when we convinced ourselves we were having a boy, and
Like, why?
When we were told we were having a girl, there wasn't a disappointment, but we picked names for a boy or a girl, didn't we?
We had, yeah.
And I think it wouldn't have mattered which we'd been told that day. There was always that little bit of disappointment if it wasn't the other gender. If we were told it was a boy, we would have kind of said, oh no, it's not a girl.
I think that's slightly different for us because a lot of people don't actually pick their names until they find out, whereas we'd already kind of chosen names for girls and boys.
Yeah, we had a list.
But for most people that don't even know what they're having yet, they're not going to have a name, why would they be disappointed? Some people don't even want to know.
To be fair, some people do actually take that attitude though, like they're disappointed one way or another. Like, I would have been happy either way, and to be honest, as we've mentioned before, I couldn't imagine anything other than our little girl.
No, me either.
Because some people don't go their whole maternity and don't even find out, but I was itching to find out, wasn't I? I wanted to go shopping.
Yeah, we bought all the neutral sort of clothes as much as we possibly could have. But then, as soon as we found out we were having a girl,
I went and bought the
we went shopping within an hour.
Oh yeah, we bought her first pink outfit, and funnily enough, it will not actually fit her until she's like 3 to 6 months. And for anyone that knows, that doesn't relate to her age, because she's quite dinky anyway. She won't be in that for probably until she's at nursery. So.
No, I know. And it's probably too nice of an outfit to wear to nursery.
But yeah, what a cheeky question to ask. Are you upset with that? No.
Are you disappointed?
I'm disappointed you asked me that question.
Absolutely not. Whatever you have, whether you have a girl or a boy, or you're not going to be disappointed because they're going to be yours.
As I say though, unfortunately, some people are. But at the same time, as you say, you should be excited no matter what. That's your little
You're going to have that love for them.
You can't pick. It's random. Well, I say random, it's genetics, I know, but you don't know, do you?
No, you don't. Things can change.
So, right, you've heard these questions, the weird and wonderful questions. I still think, for me, number one weird question on that is, what position did you conceive in?
Yeah.
What about you?
I'd like to say the same, but I think still placenta's topping it. Did you eat your placenta?
No, wrong. Did you eat your fetus?
Oh, sorry, did you eat your fetus?
Yeah, so they're really weird. Okay, so we want to know from you, did anyone ask you weird questions? Or, better yet, let us know which weird question would hit your number one spot out of the ones we've discussed.
What's top of your list?
And let's hope that people haven't asked you these weird questions. But let us know your comments, let us know your feedback.
Yeah,
what
because
you
I
think.
can imagine some of these are quite frequent questions.
Unfortunately
so.
I agree, which is very upsetting. But either way, thank you for listening to episode 4 of The Hard Life of a Strawberry, and we can't wait to have you join us in episode 5.
Yeah. Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye.
TTFN.